Hello, grade 8 students. In this video, we're going to talk about the second part of our chapter, Respiration. So, in the part 1, we identified the different organs of the respiratory system. Also, we listed the characteristics that favor the exchange of gases at the level of the alveoli. Now, in this video, we're going to study the reactions between hemoglobin and the respiratory gases, which are oxygen and carbon dioxide, and how to write the word equation and the chemical one. Also, we will distinguish between the synthesis reaction and the assimilation reaction. In this figure, we're going to talk about blood entering the lungs. It has dark red color. Why? Because it's poor in oxygen. While leaving, it's going to be bright red in color. Why? Because it's rich in oxygen. At the level of the alveoli, carbon dioxide will diffuse from the medium that's rich in carbon dioxide from the blood toward the lungs, while oxygen will diffuse from the lungs toward the blood. And this explains the bright red color of the blood leaving the lungs, since it becomes rich in oxygen. Plasma, mostly water, they carry dissolved molecules and plasma proteins for clotting. Red blood cells, they transport oxygen and carbon dioxide. They don't have nucleus, that's why they are called anucleated cells. They have a 120 days as a lifespan. White blood cells, they are classified as immune cells. They have an important role in immunity. Hematocrit. What is hematocrit? It's the percentage by volume of the red blood cells in blood. We talk about the red blood cells, they are disc-shaped. They are anucleated. They don't have a nucleus. We have about 5 to 6 million red blood cells in every millimeter cube. Red blood cells, they contain a protein is called hemoglobin. The symbol for hemoglobin from now on is Hb. So hemoglobin of symbol Hb. Hemoglobin can bind to both oxygen, O2, and carbon dioxide, CO2. So how are the respiratory gases transported by hemoglobin? We have different forms for the transportation of both oxygen and carbon dioxide. So let's start with the forms of the transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Oxygen is transported into two forms. First one is called oxyhemoglobin, HbO8. It represents 98% of the oxygen transported, while in the form of oxygen dissolved in plasma, it represents only 2%. Carbon dioxide is transformed into three forms. First one, in the form of carbohemoglobin, HbCO2. This represents 20%. In the form of carbon dioxide dissolved in the plasma, it represents only 10%, while the highest percentage, which is 70%, is for the form of bicarbonate dissolved in plasma. And we're going to talk about them step by step. Let's move for the reaction of oxygen with hemoglobin in blood. We have the reaction that occurs in a medium that's rich in oxygen, and the other one that occurs in a medium that's poor in oxygen. The medium that's rich in oxygen, which is the lungs, hemoglobin binds oxygen. So the word equation is oxygen plus hemoglobin will give oxyhemoglobin. So the medium that's rich in oxygen, we have to store oxygen. We have to keep them away from usage. We have to store them in the form of oxyhemoglobin. So the word equation is oxygen plus hemoglobin gives oxyhemoglobin. We're going to say there is 4 oxygen. Yes, you have to balance the equation like the case in chemistry. So 4 oxygen plus hemoglobin, it will give oxyhemoglobin. The chemical equation is 4O2 plus Hb plus hemoglobin can give HbO8. HbO8 is the oxyhemoglobin. While in the medium that's poor in oxygen, we need oxygen, like the case of the tissues. So HbO8, oxyhemoglobin, is going to dissociate, is going to be broken down to release the oxygen. So oxyhemoglobin will give 4 oxygen plus hemoglobin. This is the word equation. Why do we call it word equation? Because it's written in the form of words. Why do we call it chemical equation? Because it's written in the chemical symbols. So I have to differentiate between the chemical equation and the word equation. So oxyhemoglobin is going to be 4 oxygen plus hemoglobin. This is in a medium that's poor in O2. So we need to have CO2. We need to have O2. So oxyhemoglobin will dissociate, will break down to give oxygen plus hemoglobin. While the chemical equation is HbOA will give 4O2 plus Hb. Wait a minute. The medium range is the opposite of the medium poor. And the medium range for oxygen plus hemoglobin gives oxyhemoglobin. While the medium poor, the opposite. Oxyhemoglobin will give hemoglobin and oxygen. So what is the problem here? The general equation between oxygen and hemoglobin. If the medium range, we can move in this direction. For oxygen plus hemoglobin is going to give oxyhemoglobin. If the medium is rich. So if the medium is rich, we have to store the oxygen. We store it in the form of oxyhemoglobin. While if the medium is poor, we have to move in the opposite direction. We have to move oxyhemoglobin will dissociate, will break down to give oxygen and hemoglobin. So this is the general word equation. The general chemical 4O2 plus Hb plus hemoglobin will give oxyhemoglobin HbOA. The medium range in this direction, the medium poor in the opposite. So this reaction can occur in both directions. What do we call this? We call it a reversible reaction. It's unstable. Why? Because hemoglobin will bind oxygen in the medium range and it will release oxygen in the medium that is poor. That's why this reaction is reversible. Why meaning of reversible? It can occur in both directions. If the medium is rich in oxygen, is going to move in this direction, where oxygen will react with hemoglobin to give oxyhemoglobin. While if the medium is poor, it's going to move in the opposite direction. Oxyhemoglobin will move to give hemoglobin and oxygen. So this reaction between oxygen and hemoglobin is called reversible reaction because it can occur in both directions. Now let's move for the reaction between carbon dioxide and hemoglobin. The medium that's rich, also we have the medium that's poor. And the medium that's rich in CO2, here the medium is rich in CO2, it's the tissues. So hemoglobin can bind carbon dioxide. The word equation is carbon dioxide binding to the hemoglobin to give carbohemoglobin, HbCO2. Here, whenever we have medium rich in CO2, so we have to store the CO2. Chemical equation, CO2 plus hemoglobin, it will give the carbohemoglobin, HbCO2. While if the medium is poor in CO2, like the case of the lungs, HbCO2 will dissociate, will break down to give hemoglobin plus CO2. The word equation is carbohemoglobin will give carbon dioxide plus hemoglobin. The medium that's poor, carbohemoglobin will dissociate to give CO2, carbon dioxide plus Hb hemoglobin. So the general word equation, carbon dioxide plus hemoglobin, and the medium rich is going to give carbohemoglobin, and the medium poor is going to give the opposite. Carbohemoglobin will dissociate, will break down, give hemoglobin and carbon dioxide. So the chemical equation is carbon dioxide, CO2, plus Hb hemoglobin, and the medium rich is going to give carbohemoglobin, while if the medium is poor, carbohemoglobin will dissociate to give Hb and CO2. Also, this reaction between carbon dioxide and hemoglobin is called a reversible reaction. So the meaning of reversible means that's unstable because it can occur in both directions. While hemoglobin will bind carbon dioxide at the medium rich and releases it in the medium that is poor in carbon dioxide. So this is the cycle where first step, the blood will flow through the lungs. The hemoglobin in the red blood cells will bind to oxygen. So binding of hemoglobin to oxygen will form oxyhemoglobin. When the blood flows past cells with very little oxygen in them, the oxyhemoglobin will break down and will release the oxygen for the cells. Oxygen diffused to the cells of the body, and the hemoglobin will go back to the lungs to pick more oxygen and to form oxyhemoglobin to separate, to distribute them for the cells, and so on. This is the cycle. So as a conclusion, a gas exchange in the atmosphere where we have O2, we get it by inhalation, will reach the lungs, and then O2 will bind with hemoglobin to give oxyhemoglobin. So this will be distributed for the tissues, and they will carry from the tissues carbon dioxide, either free in the plasma or in the form of bicarbonate HCO3 or carbohemoglobin HbCO2. Then the carbon dioxide will be released outside the body, outside the lungs by the process of exhalation. One of the most important and the most toxic reactions that occur inside our body is the reaction between carbon monoxide and hemoglobin. Carbon monoxide mainly found in smoking, in cigarettes, and hubble bubble. So these carbon monoxide gases, they are present in smoke, and they bind in an irreversible manner or a stable, meaning that it can occur only in one direction and can't occur in opposite direction. So whenever the carbon monoxide will bind to hemoglobin, it cannot be dissociated. So no dissociation. It's going to give Hb plus CO, and this is a stable molecule. So this, by binding for hemoglobin, will prevent the binding of oxygen and carbon dioxide for hemoglobin. So this means that oxygen is not delivered to all the body cells. The oxygen is needed for the energy. Since whenever you have to exercise, you have to do like this. Why? You have to take more oxygen. So taking more oxygen will give you more energy. So less oxygen means that less energy. Carbon dioxide is not transported by hemoglobin. So carbon dioxide will accumulate, will be inside our body, and this will lead to the intoxication. The aspect of the blood entering the lungs to that leaving the lungs. Blood entering the lungs, you have to know that it's dark red in color. Then the blood leaving has a bright red. While it is entering the lungs, blood is poor in oxygen, poor in oxyhemoglobin. While leaving the lungs, they are rich in oxygen, meaning that they are rich in oxyhemoglobin. That's why they have bright red color. Aspect of the blood entering the organ to that leaving the organs. Blood entering the organs is brighter red in color than the blood leaving. They have dark red. Why? Because entering the organs, blood is rich in oxygen gas, abundant oxyhemoglobin, while the blood leaving the organs is poor in oxygen, is poor in oxyhemoglobin. We have two types of circulation inside the body. We have something called pulmonary circulation and something called systemic circulation. Pulmonary is a small circulation. It's between the lungs and the heart. What is the role of this? It aims to oxygenate the blood, to give oxygen to the blood and to get rid of carbon dioxide. Whereas the systemic is for all the systems. It's general circulation. It's the circulation between the heart and all the body organs. What is the role of this? It has an important role to transport oxygen and nutrients to body cells and to drain away the carbon dioxide and waste. So I repeat, pulmonary circulation is the circulation of blood between the lungs and the heart. Between the lungs and the heart. This is the pulmonary. Pulmonary is a small circulation. It aims to oxygenate blood and to give oxygen to the blood and to get rid of carbon dioxide. While the stomach, it's a general between the heart and all the body organs, or all the body systems. So it aims to transport oxygen and nutrients to the body cells and to drain away and to take away carbon dioxide and waste. Two types of reaction inside the body cells. We have something called assimilation reaction It's called synthesis, and something called oxidation reaction. Oxidation reaction. They use oxygen and nutrients, basically glucose, to produce energy, while waste, carbon dioxide, and water vapor, they are released in these reactions. Assimilation reaction, it uses nutrients and energy to produce or to synthesize new organic molecules like proteins, carbohydrates, and others. That's why it's called synthesis, because it uses nutrients and energy to synthesize, to produce new organic molecules like proteins and carbohydrates. This is all the notes related to the reactions. So we have two reactions, assimilation, oxidation. Oxidation uses oxygen and nutrients, basically glucose, to produce energy, while waste, carbon dioxide gas, and more vapor are released. Assimilation reactions, so the synthesis, it uses nutrients and energy to produce or to synthesize new organic molecules, that is the case of proteins and carbohydrates. Here, pulmonary and systemic. Pulmonary is the small between the lungs and the heart. It aims to oxygenate blood and to get rid of carbon dioxide, while the systemic, the heart and all the body organs. Okay, thank you for watching this